He just got
Stocky.
So
Okay,
they're joining now.
Okay.
I think we are
There we go.
away.
So this is going to be interesting. I mean, it's a 2v3, right? So there's not really going to be a boatload of stuff to talk about. Hey, whoa, okay, cool, awesome. So DeBoer's here. Great. Looks like we're down one untethered player, though. Where is,
Missing Lachinio?
Yeah, where's... No, Lachinio's in here, Pluto's in here, we're missing Waffles.
Where's Waffles?
Waffles! Yeah, so we are going to end up restarting this, because Waffles is not quite here yet. Where is Waffles? Let's get a Waffle in here. Is he not even in the... He's in the party, but not in the game. Huh, this is causing all kinds of weird hectic issues. Where's Waff? Here's actually a decent example of just what playing on NA servers looks like when you're in EU. 172, 176, and 120. But, yeah, that's kind of neither here nor there, because we do not have one of our players. So where is he? I guess we're going to watch this, though, because we have Lachinio trying his hardest, you know, not keep getting scored on. I can't imagine this game is going to count, but we'll find out shortly what exactly happened to Waffles, because he's in there. I mean, if you look, he is there on the bottom, but he is not in the game actually playing the video game. So, that happened. Well, Waff was BRB. That's a series of words I didn't really ever expect I would ever see, but I did. And Waff was BRB. But he has not RB'd yet. He has not, you know, he has not been right back. Decent clear by Lachinio there as well. Oh, then Waffles is here now. So, are we restarting? 1 second here. We will find out shortly, but I'm going to cast the rest of this game as if it was a regular game, even though they're already down by 2.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just continue with it as a regular game. I mean, they were all here, they knew what to do, didn't show up. I mean, you know, the show's got to go on.
Okay, 10-4. And Lachinio with a really good save. So this is a really, really weird situation. But, yeah, no, the entire team's here. We're looking at Waffles, making sure that he's RB. He is definitely back. We're going to jump right over to DeBoer, the other member of Swarm, who wasn't quite here just yet. And you see why they wanted to wait for him. A, they didn't want to play down by 1. And B, DeBoer is just really, really good at this game. Shooting from just past the hash mark. And, yeah, it looks like we're going to be going 3-0. 3-0. Granted, the first 2 came at a weird disadvantage. I don't know if we're just going to award, what, the 2 goals. That's fine. That is literally up to the administrators. I'm here just to talk. I'm here to yell about some things. Stocky bringing it back out into the untethered side. And we're following Lachinio as he's falling all the way back, rotating pretty aggressively, again, like they were in the last game. We've actually had Untethered on pretty much every game that we've had so far today. But here we go with DeBoer again from the top, following it up, making sure that he knocks it all the way in. And that's kind of his thing. He's just really good at making sure something happens. He can take a shot that could get saved, but he'll be there to make sure that it goes in too. Let's go back up top and see how the play develops here. It's a win for Untethered off the face-off. And they're down 4-0. I mean, again, this game started off really strangely. Waffles was probably out, you know, making a toaster strudel or eating a quesarito or something strange, and then decided to come back and play Rocket League about 2 minutes into the match. So we have Pluto trying to keep it in the zone, but Stocky knocks it all the way back out, and it looks like that is Lachinio, or Waffle actually knocking it all the way back out, and Lachinio kind of going up, trying to keep it in check, holding it down in the zone, and it looks like they're going back to that strategy of dribbling it up into the zone. Let's jump down to Pluto here, who's knocking it deep into the zone, allowing it to get to Waffle, but it looks like member of Swarm was there to actually also defuse that a bit, but Pluto not getting there in time, not allowing him, Swarm not allowing him to actually get that goal whatsoever. And it does not necessarily look like Untethered is actually playing super hard at this point. Granted, they're down by 4 with 1 minute and 22 seconds left in a match where they didn't have their third member. Waffles was gone, like I said earlier, eating a quesarito, whatever he was doing. So we're going to, again, kind of just cast the rest of this match, see what's going on with it, and then move on from there. But then the Swarm zone, and yeah, that's Lichinio from kind of forever away. Touched it in the corner off of his end, bounced off right around midfield, and again, following it up to make sure it goes all the way in. But Lichinio, from deep, kind of catching Swarm off guard there just a bit. We're going to jump over to Pashy, see what he is doing at the moment. Probably playing Rocket League. Looks like that's the case. Pashy falling back. Jabor decently diffusing the attack by Untethered. Pashy and Stocky both going up for that. Let's jump over to Pluto. See where he's at. See how he's going to play this off the wall. Just barely catches a piece of it, but it is up pretty high. Lichinio bouncing maybe a little bit too hard off of it, but Waffles is there. And it looks like Jabor was there also to defuse that, even from inside the goal. And that wasn't a huge problem, but it looks like Pluto, off a very good pass from Waffle. If you look at this, you have Waffle who kind of sees it there, pops it, and Pluto's there to take advantage of it and push it all the way in. Let's jump back up top, last 20 seconds. It got a little bit more interesting here towards the end. We have 20 seconds left. If Untethered can get some crazy amount of stuff going on all at once here, we may be able to see them take it or tie it. But I do doubt that, especially now with 8 seconds left and Waffle knocking it all the way back into his own zone. Chinio's there. Pluto is there. Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where nobody's really going to be happy. Unfortunately, we had a 2v3 situation. Waffles, for some reason, was not available at the start of the match. We weren't expecting the board to be in there, so it was supposed to be 2v3, Swarm at the 2, and VQ at the 3. VQ went ahead and started the match without Waffles. I don't know. I mean, that's their team, so they needed to be on top of that. So at this point, we have to just move on. This is a best of 7, so they have the opportunity to take 4 from here, and they could just win the whole thing 4-1, and this first game wouldn't even matter. So we're going to have, for the sake of time and the sake of just getting the show on the road, we're going to go ahead and move on.
Okay. So yeah, let's go from here. So we're awarding that 1 to Swarm, correct?
Yeah, that's going to be 1-0 for Swarm.
Crazy. Okay. So, let's jump into the next one. See what we have going on here. So we should have a full group, hopefully. Looks like Pluto's now not joining. There we go. Good. There we go. We have a full team. Everything should be up and good to go at this point. Let's double check everything. Alright. So kicking off, first, we'll call this that's a weird handicap that Swarm got the extra game out, but let's see what these two teams can actually do here down at the bottom of the Gauntlet bracket. It's Pashy going to be receiving this one, knocking into the zone, trying to get back out center, but gets knocked back out, I believe, by Lichinio. And looks like everything's actually backwards on stream, so we would want to put Swarm on blue, Untethered on orange. Looks like they may have forgotten what exactly is going on there, but let's jump over to... okay, or they skip it. That's fine, too. Let's jump down to Pashy and see what he's actually doing here. We are going to be seeing probably, I would imagine, a softer Swarm, just because they tend to not... I can't imagine that these guys are going to be too happy about the fact that they just kind of let a game go, or they kind of just won the game by default. So I'm actually interested to see if they just kind of let it breeze. And granted, they'll play it. It'll be a relatively interesting-looking match, but I don't necessarily think that that Swarm's going to be too upset if they drop this one. Because, again, granted, you play your advantages when they happen. Sure, oh man, my friend's cat got a hold of the controller or something weird happens, but in a situation where, I mean, you were fully expecting to be down 2-3, and then you end up being the ones that are up 3-2 is kind of a weird situation to be in. So yeah, it looks like Lachinio is backing up, playing back in his zone, waiting on a clear back into the zone, which it looks like is not going to come because Pluto's going to be knocking it straight back out. Let's jump over to Waffle here and see what he does from the zone. Looks like not much. Everyone was there basically blocking it from pretty much any angle you can get it at. Let's jump over to Pashy, see what he's doing. Pashy playing from the zone got beat, and it looks like, yeah, Pluto with, I wouldn't necessarily call it a dribble, I'd call it more of a redirect. Wasn't necessarily on top of him. He sat there, jumped, knew that DeBoer was there, and had to just barely redirect it off, and it just so happened to hit the inside of the crossbar for a pretty easy goal after it gets past DeBoer there. Let's go ahead and actually check out DeBoer, see what he's doing at this point. Pretty threatening spot for the ball to be, but it looks like Lachinio was not ready for that, and Stocky had a decent chip on it to make sure that it stays out from in front of the net. And Waffle setting it up. It looks like Pluto should be going for this one, but maybe not. Looks like Pashy got a decent shot on it, but Pluto has another shot. It looks like he's going to dump back and actually play a lot of defense here. And we're looking at Stocky, who hasn't been super effective. He has an assist. Now he has an assistant who saves, but hasn't been super effective in this match. He's one of, I mentioned it earlier, he's an extremely versatile player when it comes to Rocket League, especially playing when in the transition game. Being able to go, okay, this ball is coming up over my head. I should be able to knock this down for my team to bring it back on offense, or I should even be able to get some offensive pressure out of this specifically. So we should see something out of Stocky here shortly. Stocky knocking into the zone, but it looks like Pluto's going to be there for him. Let's jump over to him, see what he's going to do with it. DeBoer takes it away from him. And we have Lachinio knocking it back out of the zone, but Stocky is there. And you have Pluto who's in there, but sitting just on top of it, trying to get it to wedge itself out, maybe trying for just a deflection, make sure it gets out of there. There's Lachinio. There is Stocky again. And Stocky just barely wide, and it gives Pluto the opportunity to follow up on it. And it looks like Lachinio is going to try to set it up for him, but it doesn't come off quite strong enough. Let's go back up top and see how this thing is developing. We have Waffles, who looks like a lot of the times that they're getting shots, it's actually popping up on top of them and not really letting anyone else get behind it and get any momentum on the ball for any sort of a decent shot. At this point, it's a lot of just floaty midfield balls that usually the defending team is going to have the ability to capitalize on, not really allowing much else to happen. We are at 2-1, so there's not really a whole lot of concern on the part of Team Swarm. Team Swarm. And looks like Untethered just needs to get in there and actually start beating something. Jumping in for Pashy. Pashy with both goals. Looking like he's trying to set up for another one. And DeBoer.
Yeah, it's interesting with Swarm Gaming. Typically, it's either Pashy or Stocky that seems to be the one that's kind of going off. No, as I'm speaking there, Pluto flying in with a brilliant goal there to equalize it 2-2.
So yeah, this is Pluto. He's coming from way back, and he realizes the second that Waffles touches that both of the Swarm players are going to be out of position, so he takes his opportunity to bite, granted overextending himself, but knowing that he's close enough to the goal that it's going to go in either way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we've got some more aggression here from the boys in orange. That's BQ Untethered, pushing the ball up on Swarm side. We've got the ball here in the corner, kind of bouncing back and forth. And looks like Pluto's starting to make his way back, but still playing up a little bit aggressively to kind of see if he can get in there with one of those shots to put it right through.
Yeah, and there's Lachinio again.
Lachinio.
Let's take a look at this one again. We were locked on to Pluto, so didn't get a good shot at this. But it looks like Lachinio, yeah, just knew where the ball was going to be and was able to react to it before Swarm was even able to touch back. And that's something that Lachinio does on a very regular basis. Takes advantage of some misopportune positioning on part of his opponent, whether it's 1v1 or in a 3v3 environment, and just kind of punishes them for that. Maybe it may not be the flashiest goal to get, but it's still worth the same amount of points.
Yeah, and it sounds like the echo issue is back, so I am going to kind of reserve myself to more of a limited role.
That's fine. Give me a few seconds here. And it looks like we have Stocky. And it looks like this is going to be 3-2. Untethered takes it. And I believe we were going to be switching server side, correct?
Yes, we're going to go over to the EU servers now.
Alright, so I'm going to jump back to the main menu. I'm going to kick it back to the panel, and I am actually going to need about 30 seconds. My controller is acting really, really funky, so let me restart everything on the controller side of things. So I'm going to kick it over to the panel. It'll be about 60 seconds, and I'll be right back, and we will join the next server when Untethered and them are good to go. Alrighty, everybody, we should be back here shortly. Looks like I did just join the server, and looks like it completely got blown apart. I'm not sure exactly what happened to that one. Looks like they left and have rejoined elsewhere. So give me just a few seconds. I will change the... We'll change the screen just in a moment here as soon as we get into the official match that's actually going to work. Okay, so they did change it again. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we are still good to go. We're back. Everything's good. Everyone is here. We can actually kick this thing off the second those guys decide they want to start joining. I'll jump into spectate, see if they want to jump in. There we go. Go with game 3. It's 1-1, Swarm and Untethered, so we are starting back from ground zero. Hopefully, this turns out to be the match that I hoped it would. I was actually hoping we get to see these guys in the Gauntlet at some point. I was hoping it was maybe a little bit higher up, but regardless, it is not. Let's take a look. Kickoff. Looks like Pashy's winning the kickoff, bring it back into the zone, but it's staying in the neutral zone just a little bit. And Pashy with an open shot, but just a little bit of a bad angle. Let's jump down onto the field and take a look at Waffle as he makes it clear that that takes it back into the zone of Swarm. Pashy's falling back, jump over to DeBoer, who is pushing in just a little bit, and Waffle is there to kind of keep the pressure off, prevent him from jumping in front of the net for him. Just give me just a few seconds while we determine whether or not there's a second caster coming into the cast, but I'm going to keep you guys up to date with what is going on in the match itself. Pashy with a decent shot on the ground, relatively easy save though for Pluto, And now we have DeBoer keeping it pretty close, but not quite in front of the net, and a relatively easy clear again for Pluto, who has been all over the field in the first minute of this match. Let's jump over to Lichinio, see what he is doing, who is actually number 6, not number 5. That was Waffles, but regardless, would have been fine to play either one. But yeah, it looks like Lichinio is colliding with would have probably been Pashy, or no, Stocky. And they're playing on their heels, just a little bit, Untethered is. And it looks like they should be pushing back out here at this point, but they're not going to. They're going to let Swarm keep their hands on it, let Stocky come in and actually clear it back out again for some reason. We should
Hey, how's it going?
have Roguish Elf in here. It was Matt.
Yeah, we do.
Matt Hillman of the Epic Aerial Podcast is in here, and we have had this really weird revolving door of casters today for some reason, but hey, I'm still here. I'm hoping that the echo issue is fixed. If it's not, it's probably on my end, and I do not know what it is, because I'm not hearing it in anywhere, and it's not showing up in OBS. But hey, we have, it's VQ Untethered and Swarm Gaming, Matt, so what are you thinking about the match?
Well, you know, it's been pretty hectic. Cloud just wanted me to come in here and cast with you, so we're going to do this. And VQ Untethered versus Swarm, you can see already that it's just action everywhere. Back and forth, ping pong, nuts. And I'm really excited to be here, man. So,
hey, awesome. It's good to have you. So yeah, short of the logistical errors at the beginning here, making it basically 0-1 after what essentially became this really easy game for Swarm, because Untethered didn't have a player there the whole time. The second game ended up swinging back the other way. Whether it was intentional on Swarm's part or not is kind of up for debate, but this match, we're all over halfway through it already. It's still no score until just now when Pashy scores. If you just 1 second, we jump back and take a look at it. Pashy on the rebound, getting it just past Waffles. Great shot, great goal.
Yeah, that was seriously an awesome play there. And, you know, from these two teams, you expect crazy passing back and forth and, you know, a lot of opportunities on goal, as we're seeing already in this game.
Yeah, and DeBoer keeping it in the zone. Yeah, it's a lot of them being high. It's not high speed, it's high velocity. Everyone's always moving extremely fast in Rocket League, right? Like, that always happens.
We actually had...
Waffles left the match just now.
The match, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I
don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's definitely not good for EQ. I'm not sure. He may be having internet. Oh, wow, his router
went out.
Well, that is the problem. I mean, you got to play with the game as it is, so that's really unfortunate. They're having some technical issues today, it seems like. Yeah,
and I mean, it didn't seem... I mean, earlier in the match, we were pushed off by about a half an hour even starting because of some people not showing up, not necessarily being here just yet, which is fine, understandable. But yeah, I mean, having internet service just completely go out is maybe a completely different thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see that obviously the pace of the game just changed completely. And, yeah, we have, you know, 3 goals for Swarm Gaming now. That's, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be hard for... These teams are so close already at full strength. I don't think there's anything you can do with 2 people.
No, yeah. And that's... Yeah, you're literally going, oh, I have a scale and I have a pound of something on both sides. I'm going to take away a third of that pound. It's not going to even be remotely close to being level anymore. I mean, these teams they have similar styles enough that, yeah, the second you take one arm of that away, and granted, 3v2 ever is a difficult kind of mistress to tame, but... It's a weird feeling having someone just drop out in the middle of your match, especially in a competitive situation like this. Instead of, it's not necessarily that it's matchmaking and, oh man, someone dropped out and now it's replaced by a bot, or even ranked, where someone just rage quits, and there's DeBoer scoring again. It's
so it sounds like you're speaking again. It sounds like unfortunately Waffles' router went out, so he's going to reset that. So why don't we reset the match to the time and score at which the game, or once Waffles was out, and we'll just restart playing from that point. So we'll take a quick break, get everything set up on our end, give Waffles a chance to reset his router, because unfortunately, you know, DCs do happen, and we'll just get the score to the exact same point that it was at the time that he left, and restart from that point.
Okay, which that was a 1-0, correct?
It was 1-0 in favor of Swarm, yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
So yeah, let's let them know that. if you want to let them know that, unless they're going to play out the rest of this match. We can just continue to cast the last 45 seconds of this.
If they want to just play this for fun, that's fine. But this match will not count particularly. We will take the score. Again, we'll take the score that it was 1-0 in favor of Swarm at the time that Waffles disconnected. We'll give him a chance to fix his router, and then we'll restart and do that at that point.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I appreciate that one as a person who enjoys even competition and not winning by default. That I would much rather have it be that way. So yeah, we're gonna let this thing play out. It's the last 34 seconds, and they're it's basically GG's. They did say in the chat, wait for end. They just want to push the thing through. I believe they may already know that the situation as it's going to happen. So, and it sounds like I'm still getting some echo when anybody else is talking. So I'm going to try to diagnose that as well. So bear with me just a few seconds after the after this match is over and I kick it back to the title card. Alright guys, so that was kind of a weird exhibition match, but we're going to jump over to the title card. I'm going to be right back as soon as I figure out what exactly is going on with this echo problem. Alrighty, that should have fixed most of it, if not all of it. I apologize for the continued echo, but go ahead, Matt, if you can go ahead and test it and see if there's any more echoing.
Hopefully we've got our technical issues worked out. Hopefully they've got their technical issues worked out, and we can get into the game here and actually have a decent match going here between these two really, really good teams.
Yeah, I could even tell on the on my levels here on my end, that thing did not work echo-wise.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what it actually is, though. That's the thing, because it's all isolated. It's just weird that it's still coming through the actual thing.
Well, I can't really hear you through, or I can't hear myself through you're echoing, so I don't think it's, yeah, I don't know.
It literally has to be an OBS, and yeah, I cannot figure out what would actually be even causing it. And chat, we are definitely waiting for Waffles to get back. So the second he gets back in, we will pick this thing right back up where it left off. But so Matt, how's everything gone so far from your end? Have you been watching the stream from the beginning, or did we just kind of rope you in while you were cooking pancakes or something?
No, I was actually playing some solo standard, playing some Rocket League on my own, watching the stream, having fun, and. Yeah, Cloud was like, I'm trying to handle all of this and cast this game. I can't do it. I was like, dude, relax. I come in, I help you out. It'll be okay. So, yeah, I'm here to just cast some games because I'm having fun and I like to cast things. So, plus, it's really interesting to see really, really good teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was actually that was part of the reason why I was so excited about the project. Is I did PAX in Seattle for the guys at Psionics for the tournament that they had for. It was kind of an open tournament, just had a bunch of people in it, and everyone was there. It looks like Waffles is back. Yeah, everyone should be back. Let's
we're gonna get started.
Yeah, we should be able to get started as soon as I hit spectate. There we go, and we're good to go. So, right off the bat, we are at 1-1. We started the thing over again, and we're going to set this thing up to 1-0. And they're gonna spam in chat. What a save! Nice shot. Everyone's great. Everything's awesome.
Oh man! Wow.
And we're gonna continue from there. I have a feeling they're all probably just someone's gonna go up and touch it, or they're just gonna play the whole match over again. I wouldn't actually be against that either. I mean,
yeah, I think they're just gonna play through. I don't know if they know exactly what time it was, or if they really care. They're just gonna go ahead and play this one out from here. So.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to continue from here. It looks like Pluto close, but no cigar. We're actually going to jump down on the field and look at Waffle, who had the internet issue, see if he exhibits any signs of, lagging or exploding and disappearing off the map.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm seeing a lot of good play from VQ, so hopefully they're able to at least tie this game up and then, try to get the lead here. I'm rooting for my American cohorts, but as I say that, you know what? I learned last time I casted ESL that I don't say things that I want to happen, because the opposite almost always happens, as I'm saying.
Yeah, and that was DeBoer with the goal. A pretty decent goal at that. What you'll notice in the higher levels as you get there, it's not just constantly just montage to your goals happening. A lot of it is just taking advantage of someone being out of position and capitalizing on that. And they're not the most spectacular looking goals, but again, like I said before, they're all still worth the same amount of points. And Pashy should be there for the clear, which he is. And we're going to jump over and look at Pashy. Well, he has a decent shot at a break, but Waffles is there to clear it back out.
Yeah,
but
I was actually going to say, that's a huge shot from Luchino there. I was going to say the VQ side, they like to do some of the flashy stuff, so you may see some of it coming out in this game. But Swarm plays a very calculated game, so they're going to try their best not to make any mistakes or anything like that.
Sure, and we're going to keep an eye on Luchino here. He is arguably out of this entire group here, I would think Luchino is the one with the most individual skill when it comes to just playing by yourself, right? Like in 1v1. So that means he has the most control. He has the most knowledge of kind of where things are going to go in relation to like the angles that they take when you hit the wall. So I'm curious to see how he plays the rest of this match, being down by a goal, almost down by 2 goals. What a save by Pluto there. And we're going to jump over and take a look at Pashy as well.
Yeah, and as we're highlighting individual skill, I'd like to point out Waffles. If you haven't watched VQ Untethered before, you'll most likely see Waffles in the goal a lot or behind the other 2 members of VQ. He plays an amazing defense, and I think that's essential to... God, I should just stop talking, man.
Caster's curse, man.
He plays an essential defense to VQ Untethered, and he's really good at it, except right there where Swarm was able to get another goal.
But no, that again comes back to the point I made earlier about being in a situation where you're forcing people to be out of position. Like, he was correct almost that entire time until Swarm just poked it again. They poked it, moved it, and okay, now we're out of place again all of a sudden. Like, it's just a matter of him not reacting to it early enough, which even then, when the ball gets hit that way, you can't react that quickly to something that's changing that rapidly.
Yeah, so Swarm, like I said, playing a pretty calculated game. They're trying their best to increase this lead because they know that VQ Untethered has tricks up their sleeve to try to tie this game up.
Right, and that's VQ's. That's always been kind of VQ's modus operandi, like just being. They're really, really high energy, and I said it earlier. They're high velocity. They literally are constantly just going. The only person on Untethered that really hangs back at all is Waffle. Like he's not even as reserved as someone like Gibbs would be. He's more I'm going to come out and hit this ball as much as I want to, but when the ball starts coming back, I have to double back really quickly to play defense. Let's jump back in here with Stocky really quickly. In his Gizmo.
Oh boy, Stocky in the Gizmo. Love to see it. It's the new meta for Rocket League. Oh wow, DeBoris with the open goal. He doesn't miss that one.
Yeah, and DeBoer, and again, this is everybody went for that except DeBoer, and once the dust had settled, he had a pretty open shot and was just able to capitalize on it pretty easily, bringing us down to 4-1, 4-2, that's 4-2, off of a kickoff that acted really strangely. Okay, they're just gonna skip it. That's cool too. But yeah, Waffle scored that just off the kickoff. Not sure if it was miscommunication or what, but now we're at 4-2 with a shot for Untethered to come back and actually capitalize on this one a little bit, but diminishing hope on this one. And we're looking at DeBoer really quickly, because it looks like they're going to be being able to capitalize from the angle that they're at. Lachinio just barely missing the save, leaving Stocky there to be able to follow that thing up. If you notice, the only thing that sets this up is Lachinio missing that clear. If he would have hit that, it would have either gotten bumped out a little bit further or bumped out in a different direction, so that Stocky was unable to actually take the shot. Stocky again with a really solid clear. Let's jump over to Pluto, see where he's at, see if he can actually bump it in. Again, it's 5-2, down by 3 goals. Not really sure that they will be able to actually accomplish 3 goals in the course of the next 35 seconds, but you know, you can always hope. So I have to assume, Matt, considering the extended silence, that the echo issue is still there, correct?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of things in chat, so guys, when we go to break, I'll try to fix it. I know I'm probably echoing pretty hard. We'll get this diagnosed, and you know, we're in the last 7 seconds of the game here, so looks like Swarm's going to be taking this one. We're in 0-second time, so yeah, Swarm takes that one 5-2. I think we're going to do a little bit of diagnostic running here, so we're going to have to tell these players to wait a second, and then we should be back in just a sec. Yeah, right. What?
Hey guys, we're back. So there's actually, sorry about that being extremely loud just now. There's actually a straight up issue with OBS at the moment. It's most likely on my end. Oops, it's most likely on my end, but it is gonna just be me here for the rest of the match and for the rest of the stream. I apologize. I'm a little bit off kilter just from trying to diagnose all that really quickly like that. And so yeah, it's just gonna be me. We're gonna go through the rest of this together. No other casters, so we're not gonna get any really other crazy super nuts audio issues, but we will have that all that stuff troubleshot and ready to go for next week. Thank you all for sticking around, and we are going to be picking up again with Game 4, Team Swarm and VQ Untethered. Out of the gate, we are still kind of centered off on everything. I mean, it's kind of nice. I'm here with you guys, Twitch chat, talking about a game, not necessarily having a whole conversation with some other dude, which I don't mind. I actually enjoy Matt. I enjoy Cloud. It's just they all sound like they're in, a cave. So we have Untethered pushing forward on a decent break, and Patchy's there. Lachinio trying to knock him offside, but not offside, but off to the side. And it looks like Patchy there still able to clear fairly easily. Let's jump down on the field with Pluto and see what he is up to, and see if we can get a decent shot back into center. It looks like Waffle may have redirected that, and Waffle followed himself back up and actually knocked it straight back out. So let's jump over to Stocky while they're in the offensive zone. Stocky had a decent shot at it, but Untethered was there to actually clear it back out. Let's jump back over to Pluto, see what he's up to. And off the top, great save. That was that's one of those where you kind of don't think you're even gonna get it. If you're me, then you kind of just don't even think it's gonna go. You're gonna even touch it. But he was there in time, was able to make that save, an epic save at that. So. Fantastic work from Pluto. Let's jump over to Lachinio. See him up here at midfield, trying to get the lead off in the offensive zone. The second that they clear it, he'll be up there and hopefully ready to make any sort of fast break. But now he's back in the zone, waiting for Stocky to knock it in, and Stocky does, but rejected immediately by Pluto. And let's go take a look at DeBoer, see what they're up to. As if it is actually two people that play on the same controller. I've never actually asked him or them if that's the case. Oh, and just barely. Looks like Lachinio able to capitalize on that, even though everybody was kind of not there. He jumps, knocks Stocky, and Stocky knocks it in for, I'd call that a pull shot. I couldn't tell if the medal actually awarded. But consider that a pull shot. Both guys from the top side coming down on the kickoff in the Untethered side. And we're going to kind of just play it in the zone. They're going to play a little bit softer. Again, they're up by a goal now, so there's no huge pressure for them to continue. Remember, this is a best-of-7 series, so we are currently at 2-1. First team to 4 games wins, and that's DeBoer with a goal from the side, just outside of the net, so forcing him to reevaluate just a little bit. Didn't have ball cam on, but it looks like, yeah, he is decent shot from the low end, trying to make sure you get it around everybody. Let's keep an eye on DeBoer and see what he's up to. Yeah, it's a best-of-7 series. First team to 4 games will advance and plays the next up. So it's set. Whoever plays this automatically basically has at least 3rd place. And then next, they're playing for 2nd place. So whoever wins the next will get 2nd place automatically if they win. And then, will automatically get 3rd place if they win. And then going forward, it'll be the finals is obviously to determine 1st and 2nd place. So jump over to Patchy. We have, again, it's a tie game, 1-1. Not really a whole lot super exciting happening when it's in the middle of the field like that. It's a lot of just jockeying for position, and DeBoer with a pretty high shot, but Lachinio jumping straight up there to take it back out, and Stocky coming from literally out of nowhere. Patchy knocking it back in, and that's going in. That's a good shot. We're actually going to take a look at that thing from the top, because Patchy came in right at the perfect angle for them to skip it so that we can't see it again. GG. So Lachinio's probably going to be clearing this thing back out. Let's jump over and see what Untethered are up to, being down by 1 game here, or by 1 goal here. Also down by 1 game, but hey, who's counting? Us, because we're hosting the tournament. But yeah, so we have 1 minute 15 seconds left, And it looks like Lacino's going to be going up for a decent shot on goal, but it hits it maybe a little bit too high. Slowed it down a little bit too much, and Stocky was going to be able to be there to actually stop it. If Waffles here, who's actually going to be playing pretty far back again, like I said, defensive player with his alpha hat and his octane. Unable to keep in the offensive zone, but it looks like Lachinio is there. Jump over to Pashy, see what these guys are up to, and see how this develops. It's going to be high, but is Stocky or DeBoer going to be able to capitalize on it? No, they are both too far back. That is the one problem with not communicating your rotations. You don't have anyone there to capitalize. Shot by Lachinio on target, but a little bit slow. Stocky and Pashy were both there to keep it out. Great save by DeBoer there. That is very easily could have gone in. It's just a matter of DeBoer having to be there and re-wedge it back out the same direction it came in. 5 seconds left to go. It looks like it's going to be Swarm with the third game. They're 1 game away, assuming this doesn't... That looked like that bounced on the ground, I believe. But let's double check it. Granted, it's not going to really matter anyway, but that's really interesting. No, okay. Just the little bit of a server issue on that end, probably. So yeah, that is Swarm Gaming up 3 games to 1 on VQ Untethered. Took this game 3-1. And it looks like we are just going to go ahead and get right back into it, assuming Lachinio is going to ready up. I will ready up. We are going to see what happens in possibly deciding game number 4. Once we get the... or game number 5. Once we get the stream overlay updated. So here we go, game number 5. It is going to be, now granted, technically it's really only game number 3, but that is a completely different thing. Pashy right off the bat, right out of the gate. I'm not sure if there was any sort of weird opening game server issue. No, it's just a matter of Pashy being the aggressor, following up the kickoff, knowing that it was going to stall the way it did, and jumping right up top. So let's jump back into the super high up bird's eye view. See DeBoer and Lachinio going for it again. A little bit of rubber banding there as far as the kickoff is concerned, but everything looks to be sorted out again. Just want to make sure there's no actual server issues. Granted, when you play internationally, it does cause some issues on occasion. There's DeBoer with a really close shot, and again, not enough velocity on it, allowing Lachinio plenty of time to come down and actually knock it down, knock it back out. In fact, that was Waffle, who we're going to jump to right now. It looks like Lachinio is going to try to control this himself, keep it away from Pashy. But he brings it back maybe a little bit too far into his own zone, maybe expecting Waffle to pass it, and or expecting to pass it to Waffle, and Waffle did not take him up on that, putting it back into the dangerous position of being in their own zone again, which may not have ended up being the best decision. Jump over to Stocky, see what's going on over here. Remember, Swarm is up 3 games to 1 at the moment. The stream overlay has not just updated as I said that, so I'm magic. That's confirmed. DeBoer brothers are the DeBoer brothers are pushing back into the zone and trying to play a little bit of defense. And it's a matter of, honestly, at this point, it's a matter of them just playing it safe. This is the series when they win, if they win. It does give Untethered a significant disadvantage if they, considering they would have to win back 3 games and then go through the rest of the gauntlet. Swarm only dropping 1 game, granted going through the technical difficulties that we did go through aside, still not that bad of a situation for them. They still have to fight all the way from the bottom, have to play 3 full best of 7 series, but a little bit better situation than Untethered would have been. Jump over to Lachinio, see what he is doing in this situation. Being the I'll call him a hard carry in Rocket League again. Having such high individual skill, being able to manage the ball, being able to manage the angles that the ball is going to take, being able to clear that way and knock it off of Pashy all the way down to the zone and blow up a guy on the way. Again, jack of all trades, master of probably quite a few of them as well, is Lachinio. Jump back over to Pashy, see what he is actually doing. Waffle is there, knocking it back out. Looks like Pashy's going to try to just keep it either close to in the zone or in the zone, just trying to prevent himself from having to play, or prevent his team from having to play too explicit a defense. Just making sure that they can hold on to that 1-goal lead, doing a little bit of dribbling. 3 touches, but directly into Lachinio, who he then promptly destroys for blocking his shot. Hey, get out of here. And Pashy again. Again, just keeping it in the zone, maybe not necessarily lining it up long enough to take a shot, but he has a lot of time to get to that one, and DeBoer beats him there. Let's see the little bit of a drag race we had for this pretty free goal. DeBoer booked it, so did Pashy, all the way the ball took it. Pretty easy. So 2-0 Swarm. It looks like that might be pretty close, based on the way that Untethered is playing. May be pretty close to putting that nail in the coffin, depending on how they play going forward here. But we're looking at Lachinio, seeing what is happening with him, and how he's going to play the rest of this match with the being down by 2 goals. Pashy off the wall, a little bit high. Waffle stopping it directly in front of the net. Luckily, Lachinio was there to actually pick it back up. But Stocky, and even high again for Stocky. Let's jump over to Pashy, see what is going on with these with the high shots again today. Again, I mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of just people exploding happening all over this match. But no, there's a lot of shots that you would expect the higher level players to take, coming out even a little bit higher even than you would have expected them to be able to take them in the first place. Like their skill level is to keep those down, right? Like that's their thing. They're not quite doing that. That's not what I would blame Lachinio for, being the angle that he came in on. That ball's up pretty high. Pashy playing real deep. Let's jump over and see what Pluto is doing. Really close on the rebound there for Waffle. Pluto's going to go way up, and if you notice, Pluto is, I'll call him an aggressive aerialsman, aerial maker, an aerialer, maybe. When he goes up, he overcorrects for everything all the time. And that's good and bad for a few different reasons. Good because when he goes up, he can actually change his direction very easily, and this is threatening. Stocky with the goal. Again, very, very easily teed up. Granted, it was relatively difficult getting in there, but once Lachinio touches it, it kind of pushes, puts everything straight forward. But Pluto is, like I said, he overcompensates a bit. 7 seconds left. 5 seconds. 3-0. So this is going to be Swarm taking the series, assuming that hits the ground, which it does. So that's Swarm. Swarm wins it. Pashy GG's, Lachinio GG's. Everyone's a GG. A GG here, a GG there. A GG on the hold screen. So we are going to wait for Swarm